those of you that hadn't already gone out to New Jersey the other day, you know, I really expected those type of challenges because of the way they played and how difficult it is. First of all, our scout team did an incredible job of understanding the calculus involved in what they're doing offensively. Now, we didn't get it perfect, but without that defense, you know, we don't win the game. The only thing we weren't prepared for is them play a pick and pop 5, which they had not traditionally done because number 30 there is so good. And when he got in foul trouble, that was the worst thing that could happen to us. So thanks goodness we had the versatility this year to put Isaiah over at a 5 place. You're going to play small, we'll play small. Started switching screens, and when they post up Isaiah, they post up Eli, we were tough. We didn't let them get the ball in there and score against us. So Billy Carmody is a really good coach, and they're going to have a very good year. And we're happy to get this W. I think they'll have a good year in the Patriot. That will help us. And get some rest tomorrow and get ready for Villanova.
Right in the middle with Derek, Coach.
Coach, Michigan shot just over 20% in the first half from the field, and in the second half you made 50% of the shots. What was the key to the offensive turnaround?
Yeah, we really changed what we were doing offensively. We were probably trying to do too much, trying to create leverage, and we just really simplified our attack in the second half and just tried to just go off penetration as outsmart them. We weren't outsmarting them. We had to go with just some speed, some quickness, right? And certainly Iggy got us off to a great start.
Oh, James?
John, just curious, how many paintings of yourself do you have in your house?
That would be the first. That would be the first. And it is so nice. What are we going to do with that, dear? Where is it going to go?
I thought we put it right over the fireplace.
Right over the fireplace. I don't think it's going over. I know it's not going over our fireplace. But that would be the first, James.
Okay. And in the first half, you guys went small with Isaiah at the 5, and they really seemed to really struggle offensively. How key was that stretch in the first half?
That was big. We've been talking about that to be able to just. We couldn't stop him at that point because the kid was on fire. And as I said, we tried to prepare for about everything. And I mean, there's 100 things they could do, and we probably had 40 or 50 we had either guarded in practice, not great, but we had done it, and we weren't ready for that. So just being able to do that simplified thing, we just switched everything.
Stay right in the front with Zach.
You know, was it just familiarity for the defense? I think you held them to 19 points in the final 31 minutes.
Yeah.
Was that just?
Yeah, I think that the last 2 practices were different than any practice we ever have. They were. I could watching them in just the 1 games and games last year. We had to just. They messed with the game, and they changed all the rules, and so you have to reprogram. It's like facing a knuckleball pitcher, right? All of a sudden, right in the middle of your season, and so we practiced so much that it was driving everybody crazy, I think. But it did prepare us for this, and it showed. It showed. I think I got a couple back doors, and I knew they'd pick on a couple of the young guys, and they did.
And then, different question, but Iggy mentioned he was very close, in his words, to coming here for the 2017 class. He chose to kind of develop in the prep game 1 more year. I guess, what did you see, how did you see him grow in that year, and I guess how do you reflect on that decision?
Well, it's a work in progress. I think that we would have loved to have him here last year. He could have helped, and you know, I don't know what his role would be. It may be tough for him to start on that team last year, but it would have been a good role. But he continues to grow in different ways. With the amount of, when anybody stays that extra year in post-grad, whatever, it can be very good for them. And it's great for their maturity and probably their desire going to college. However, I will take a year going to college with John Sanderson, with video, with three meals a day, right? With our 20 hours of practice over any time you stay in extra in high school. But that we respected it, and it's all working out.
Right on your left with Ryan.
Were you pleased with how aggressive Iggy and Charles were tonight?
Yeah, but they're hunters, and they're hunters, and we just got to continue on them being guys that shoot straight, right? I think Charles was 3 for 9 at one time, and he's gonna be better than that. And Iggy is similar. So we got those 2 are going to hunt. Jordan Poole's got to hunt. Those are 3 guys that got to try and get buckets for us. much like the Karrases and the Hardaways and the Burks did for us in the past, Stauskas, they all did those type of things for us, Muhammad Ali. But Muhammad grew into that role over time.
Stay right there with
Great comeback win tonight, Coach. Do you think that this comeback win, despite being against a non-Power 5 team, is going to give you guys momentum heading into Nova on Wednesday?
Well, I do think it was better than the alternative of losing. So it's just something, it's another growth experience, but it won't be like, hey, after that, you know, I think, what were we here? We were 3 for 19 from 3. That's not like saying, okay, man, we're ready. We got some things to work on. But it's certainly good to have a day off and a 2-day prep. That I always would prefer that.
right that from Matt.
John, Teskey had 5 blocks. How do you kind of balance that need for that big man plus, like you said, the small lineup you had that might neutralize some other teams?
Yeah, I mean, we just went player for player because we could not leave him in there if they were going to pop. The reason being, once he switched, Isaiah had guarded both actions. And Luke had said, we got to get Teskey ready, or we have to get, it was his suggestion to get Isaiah Livers ready to play, so he played both the 3, the 4, and the 5 this past week in practice. And it was his idea to do that. It really worked out. But when their big went in, I just went with John then because he's really a talented player. And he's so good at throwing passes, but you put John Teskey in front of you, those windows are smaller.